This is the Gulf of Mexico. It is the richest, most productive, most exciting marine area that borders North America. Beneath the surface, it is a teeming jungle, a wild challenge to spear fishermen. Above water, there's enough explosive violence to thrill the most intrepid sport fishermen. Rods bend like bows and reels shriek. It is a reservoir of fossil fuel, a teeming, diverse broth of marine life, a compelling invitation to divers. It has always been a priceless resource, but the potential it is achieving today has been fostered and spurred by the coming of the Steel Reefs. A professional diver and underwater photographer. We're heading into the Gulf to the offshore oil and gas platforms in company with the swift crew boats. Under each platform is a thriving marine ecosystem upon which sport fishing and diving have thrived. In fact, they are now a booming business. Today, Gulf Coast diving friends are introducing me to this new world for the first time.
All right. We'll take our lights down with us too. Gosh, I can see the stuff all over the pilings already. Barnacles look like they're almost an inch thick.
There's a green algae growing right at the surface.
This is Bert Kettleton, one of the finest naturalist divers on the coast.
This should have about 1 1/2 inches of growth on the piling.
Terrific. Well, we're going to find big schools of fish down here and drop right down on autumn action.
I certainly hope so, but you know, the hurricane may have spoiled the marine life.
What is this hurricane business here? The Chamber of Commerce told me it was a great climate.
This rig's about 6 years old, and it should have almost full community of marine life.
The world of the Steel Reefs is like no marine environment I've ever been in before. Great barracuda were our reception committee, curious but not aggressive. Legions of spadefish sweep by majestically. As long as our movements are unhurried and easy, we will be accepted without disturbance in this diverse marine community. There's beauty under these platforms, a symmetrical beauty. When you're just halfway down one of the supporting members, you're already 70 feet deep, and the surface is a distant, shimmering mirage. All the Gulf Coast divers are shell collectors and amateur malacologists, and they know just where to look for the valuable shells they will add to their collections.
What a sight! It's like a forest.
Great, huh?
Going up there. I love those spadefish.
They weren't as thick as they usually are. Well, how was that? Well, there was barracuda, amberjack.
All right.
Maybe we'll shoot an amberjack later on.
As long as you can eat them. Boy, that water is warm.
Yeah, it's great.
If it's so warm, why are you so blue?
Well, it's a little cool down close to the bottom.
This cold, steel complex is also a cradle for microscopic marine life. These barnacles will find ample surface area upon which to take hold. Here they feed on planktonic life, and in turn their sperm and eggs become part of the planktonic broth when they spawn, as the sea urchin is doing. For the billions of larvae and pelagic eggs, these structures provide a biologically attractive surface, initially colonized by bacteria and larval organisms. These are the base of the food chain, the zooplankton. Here are larval sea urchins and the larval stages of clams and oysters. These mingle with the eggs of fishes. Those that do not succeed in attaching to a surface area may fall prey to other planktonic predators, the medusa. All this marine life, attracted to the steel reef, nurtures great clouds of fish fry, which in turn may provide food for barracuda. In fact, these barracuda occupy a top link in the food chain, which they share with man. While they hunt with their razor-sharp teeth, man uses steel.
Stan, this is an old gun, but it's my old favorite. Never fails.
Let me see what you're doing to that thing. Holy, well, that isn't going to take too much impact.
Right. Well, I don't spearfish much anymore, but it helps to bring back a delicacy for the wife at times. All right.
Are you all ready?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, let's go.
Amberjack. They're after amberjack today. The biggest ones I've ever seen come in on these oil rigs. The great pelagic jacks come in from the open sea to feed on the fish that live under the platforms, and man in turn preys on them. Burr stalks a big amberjack. He takes aim, fires at point-blank range, and misses. He's gung-ho if not accurate at this moment. This time he strikes hard and well. The fish heads for the bottom. They're powerful. They'll drag a diver along with them. Burr grapples with the reserve on his tank. In doing so, he goes head first into one of the cross members of the rig. The rig didn't move an inch. You must watch your depth constantly. You'll be in deep water before you know it in the excitement of the chase. But Burr does check this fish's descent, brings him back towards the surface, and now back to the boat. This is a big one. The amberjack aren't the best eating of the jacks, but they're good eating, and this fellow will be made up into steaks for 3 different families ashore. The men are out to fill their larders, but they're also after records. And many of the species grow to record sizes here. There's the face of a man developing a hernia. The next morning we made our last dive together, and it was by far the finest of our series. The stingray, much maligned, not the villain he's made out to be, an eater of crabs, crustacea, and mollusks. You practically have to step on him to get him to use that poison barb in his tail. He almost knocks Burr off his perch. The ray glides by with powerful rhythmic strokes of his wing-like body. Coming up for a hug and a kiss here, the friendly stingray. Jack Crevalle, Carex hippos, the most beautiful of all the jacks. They've come from deep water attracted by our diving activity. Amberjack, even larger than the ones we had seen before. The view is all in lines, straight up and down, as we move deeper along the water column. Each new area has its own spectrum of life. 70, 75, 80 feet. I must turn on my lights. This is the twilight zone. Here in deep water we finally found the snappers. They've been here all the time, but deep, driven here by the hurricane. The lights pick up the burnished red of their scales. The queen angelfish arrived from Florida waters many years ago. Burr cataloged them when they first came about 15 years past. The French angelfish, Pomacanthus faru, arrived about 7 years back. And then today, seen for the first time and very exciting to Burr, the gray angelfish, Pomacanthus arcuatus, cataloged, noted for the first time, and so the range of life grows. Burr checks his decompression meter. We're over 100 feet deep. There's no equivocating when it comes time to go. It's time to go. Up into the zone of light again, through the clouds of spadefish, and out through the bars of the cage into the open water. Watch us return from from a world they will never see. Their eyes popped right out of their heads when they saw the size of these snappers. They dangled hooks and never catch them like that. Now, any diver will tell you that the best part of the day is called the happy hour. My friends prefer bourbon. Of course, I'm a sarsaparilla man myself. Whatever the toast, let's drink to adventure and the challenge of the sea, and the hope that we may dive again another time.